it's getting to be fall, perfect time for some dark academia. Let's go over some of my favorites. There is something about the fall time that just draws me to dark academia, so let's talk about some of my favorites. The first one I want to talk about is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is an incomplete series, but there are 3 books out, and the 4th book should be out probably next year, so there's plenty of time for you to catch up. So we have Legendborn, Bloodmarked, and Oathbound out now. We follow Bree, who is entering a new school and is learning about herself and trying to solve the mystery of what happened to her mother. And when she's trying to do this, she gets drawn into this secret society that fights monsters, and it is modeled after King Arthur. I really enjoyed this. It tackles some really heavy themes. It is YA, but it is written in a way that is so good for adults as well, and I highly recommend picking up Legendborn and giving it a shot. You will never catch me passing on an opportunity to talk about Mona Awad and weird girl fiction in general. This is Bunny, a dark academia that follows Samantha, who prefers her own company to those around her at her school. There is a group of girls that call each other Bunny that are very sinister and yet very overly sweet, and she gets invited into their cult-like vibes and kind of loses herself a little bit in that. There is a sequel coming out to this book in September that I'm very excited about, and I do have an arc for that. But Bunny is it's steeped in metaphor. I believe this to be a very harrowing and troublesome look at mental health. I have a full review on this if you are interested, talking about why I think this book was written the way that it was. Of course, it is just my opinion, but I think that this book tackles mental health in a very unique and interesting way surrounding a wonderful dark academia plot. An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson is another one that I really enjoyed. This gets a lot of mixed reviews that I see on my timeline, but I really don't understand them because this was a lot of fun. This is a dark look at corruption, overuse of power, all with this dark academia plot, and I really enjoyed it. The magic system is super unique. The school is super unique. The characters are nuanced, morally gray, interesting as hell. I really had a really fun time with this. I definitely don't understand the mixed reviews for it, but everyone's different, and that is fine. If this wasn't for you, it wasn't for you. But this was definitely for me. Alexis Henderson could write a grocery list and I'd probably read it. Never Let Me Go is another very mixed review dark academia that I kind of get the mixed reviews for. This is a very slow moving, at its own pace, very metaphorical read, and it's not for everybody for sure, but it was absolutely for me. This is definitely heartbreaking if you are looking beneath the surface. I still think about this book. I read it over a year ago and I still think about it to this day. I definitely want to read more by this author. I am very remiss in the fact that I have not yet, but this follows a group of kids that are at this boarding school and they don't really know why they're there. They have no memory of before the school. They are never allowed really off campus until they get older and are released back into society, and they can never really figure out exactly why. The adults around them are very mysterious, not very forthcoming with what's going on, and when you realize exactly who these kids are and why they're there, it broke my heart a little bit. I felt so horrible for them. But this is a very emotional read, and it is, again, very slow moving. It's very slow paced for such a short book, so just keep that in mind. The Library at Hellebore is a newer release by Cassandra Caw that takes cosmic horror and dark academia and makes it into this beautiful little baby that I'm holding in my hand. This one has a very high level of gore, morally gray characters. This is about a school where our main character is kidnapped and forcibly sent to, and is told that if she can get through to graduation, she will get the life she's always wanted. This school takes in the worst of the worst, the Ragnaroks, the apocalyptic kids, the kids with very interesting abilities that they use in very harrowing and evil ways. And again, the gore level, I have never read gore so lyrically written before. This was fantastic. And the problem with this school is that the library eats the students. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because you need to experience this for yourself. Very good. The next book I want to talk about is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and this is probably one of the top dark academia reads of my entire life. It's right up there with Bunny. I love this book. I do see mixed reviews for this book as well, and I completely understand them. This is a book you really have to dig deep. You cannot read surface level. There are definitely underlying themes that you have to dissect. I read this book twice before I think I really got a really good grasp on what M.L. Rio was trying to do here, and I absolutely loved it. I read this pretty much every fall at this point. I'm due for another reread. It's coming up, but I'm really excited about it. We follow Oliver, who is a student at a prestigious and very elite theater club, or school rather, and he is with his fellow students, and a horrible accident happens, and he is basically telling his side of the story as to what really happened that night, because what was deemed to have happened and what was, you know, with the justice that came down for what happened was not actually what happened. So you get to follow Oliver along as he tells this story to the detective that initially took on the case, and it's very interesting and very eye-opening, and I really enjoyed it. And last but certainly not least is Immortal Dark by Tigris Girma. This takes vampires, dark academia, cutthroat actions, darkness, and the ability to find and love your sister to a completely new level. This was so good. I loved this. I read it as an audiobook, and I have to say it is more of a complicated story, so I reread it as a tandem read, and I did better with it that way. The next book, Eternal Darkness, I think, something. Don't hold me to it. I'll put a picture. It's coming out soon, so I'm really excited about that. This was so fun, so good. It is definitely dark. It definitely takes vampires and dark academia to a new and very interesting level, but this was fun, and I highly recommend.